IVC, Dale Gatefold 33 here to do a finds video, a few records to show. These are all new issues, either mostly reissues and a few new issues. So yeah, so let's get on with it. So starting off these first two, I'll just start with, so I bought this last year, Coltes Percussion Ensemble, a Scottish school ensemble who recorded this album in 1976, a slightly obscure percussion driven album. Features Evelyn Glennie, famous Scottish musician who went on to become a professional performer in later life, and all the more kind of impressive because she lost her hearing, went deaf at the age of 12, but still managed to go on to become a professional musician, classical musician. So this is an interesting sort of piece and a sort of a kind of curio that I picked up for, I think Johnny Trunk was doing one of his sales. It just cost me £1 or something like that last year. But then I saw on his weekly email that he put it back out on vinyl, and originally this is not the original artwork, so he managed to reissue it on vinyl with the original artwork from '76. So I thought I'd just pick that up again as a curio. The music's nice, interesting. So they couldn't. I think this is dubbed from a couple of copies of the original vinyl records, because I don't think there's no master tapes that still exist or exists for this, because it was like a small private pressing when it was done. So I don't think any master tapes were ever kept. So yeah, so the sound is not audiophile, but it's good enough. So that's something I already had that I didn't need to buy. And another thing I already had, so I showed this last year on a finds. It's a CD that George Ben, I've got several George Ben albums on vinyl, but this one has eluded me. Very expensive. Originals are kind of a couple of £100 for a nice original Brazilian copy. So really wanted a copy of this, and eventually kind of pulled the trigger on this Japanese CD last year. And then what happens, that was probably last September, October, still got the same kind of eBay save search, and Assads Law, a vinyl copy, dropped in. So it managed to pick up a vinyl copy, a reissue. Now I've kept this on the shrink just because of this is just the ludicrous, logic of marketing. So this is, Brazilian MPB, beautiful, summery, light, one of the most, beautiful, upbeat albums, absolutely fantastic. It's the hype sticker, because it came out in October. The hype sticker says Halloween Orange 180 gram heavyweight vinyl. From Future Shot Records, Força Bruta, George Ben, limited to 500 copies. Halloween Orange. What has this got to do with Halloween? Absolutely nothing. So just because it happened to come out in October, they thought they would market it as Halloween Orange. Completely ridiculous marketing. So anyway, now the shrink is off. Hooray! Its artwork is free to enjoy freedom in the world. Okie doke. Moving on. This is I'm not sure what this is actually. This is on the Library of the Occult label. I've had a couple of things on there, certainly a cassette, I think, and a single. Because I'm deep into the wormhole, deep down a rabbit hole of hauntology, folk horror, folk, that kind of stuff. So this is Blood Mansion, original soundtrack recording by The Garden Gate, and it's kind of synthy, classical, darkish instrumental album from a film, but I'm not sure. I think it's one of these kind of made up stories, made up films to kind of go with an instrumental record, because I can't see any. It quotes some people here, the cinematographers, the actors, and all that, and I can't find any of them. So I think this is just kind of a kind of made up thing. In fact, it has got some bump in it. I probably should have read it. I haven't read it. It's got like a booklet with it and a poster. So maybe I should play it. When I play it again, I'll read the book and probably just be even more kind of the story that isn't really true, if you get what I mean. Okay, final one of the reissues. Well, I don't know if that's probably that couldn't be it. Essentially, that's either a reissue of a soundtrack to a long lost film, or it's a brand new album based on the kind of story of it being around a soundtrack. You understand what I mean. Anyway, next up, reissue of the Corals' debut album. So I've shown several albums by the Coral in the past, either on kind of Finds videos or Thread videos. Band I really like, and so they were reissuing their 2002 album, 20th anniversary. I do have a copy of it, one from 6 or 7 years ago, Music on Vinyl Press, and obviously I have the original CD. I bought it when it came out, and it was popular with the kids in the car. So this is a 2-disc version. So it's got the original album, and then it's got another album, but it's not a throwaway album of demos and alternate takes. It's actually all the songs on the second disc are unique studio songs. I think they're all studio songs. I don't think is there any live. I think they're all unique studio songs that appeared either on. They put 2 EPs out before they put their debut album out, and so there were tracks on the 2 EPs that didn't end up on the album, plus B-sides of singles that were released from the album. So from that, you almost get like a completely new extra album's worth of material. Of stuff that they recorded about the same time as this, which is very interesting, and a lot of it is very good. I mean, overall, I think they picked the right songs to put on the actual album, but there were some pretty strong songs that didn't get on it. So this was really enjoyable to get. I got it from their website, so it came with. I pre-ordered it. It came with a signed kind of art thing and the signed insert. The only thing slightly annoying, maybe that's a bit strong, and I find a number of bands are doing this now, particularly if you order direct from their websites, is they're doing these bundles, so that the album didn't come with a download. You scour the text and it doesn't obviously say it's got a download, so whereas previously I've had albums from the Coral that I've bought direct from their website, and in the past they've come with a download code, and I do like to have a digital version because you can listen to in the car and out and about. So the only way to kind of be sure that you're going to get the download is to buy one of these bundles, the vinyl plus CD, or vinyl plus CD plus t-shirt, or vinyl plus CD plus cassette plus t-shirt, or the picture disc and all that kind of thing. I think Paul Weller does it as well, and it's a little bit annoying because it's probably got 28 quid for the vinyl, and then you have to bundle in a CD, and they might chuck they might cut £2 off the total, but you're still paying like £40 to get an album with a digital version of it, which I find a little bit frustrating. I know they got to make their money in this world, so I'm not overly fussed about it, just a bit. Right, so now on to another sort of, this might be a reissue technically, I don't know. Certainly this is the first physical, I think, issue of this. So this is Lei Riviere, a documentary by Mai Hua. The documentary tells the story of a family of women, generations of women. The oldest sort of grandmother is brought from Vietnam to Paris to live with the other generations of the family, and it tells a story of this kind of how they live together as kind of 3 or 4 generations on the female perspective. not seen it, but that's what I think it's about. Its soundtrack is by Kenny Dickinson, who's done a lot of session work with, you know, popular and kind of, you know, popular artists and all that, producing, playing. And yeah, this is a beautiful kind of sort of neoclassical, mainly piano, keyboards with some other instruments, some others, cello and stuff in it. Really lovely, lovely album. I say it's a reissue because I was made aware of it last year and did actually buy it as a digital download. I bought it on Bandcamp as a digital download because that's the only place you could get it. So I already had it and knew it when, just by chance, because this is on Be With Records. I've talked about them before, the label. I buy almost everything they put out, or lots of stuff they put out. And so when I saw this, yeah, it was a no-brainer. I've kind of bought it. So really lovely piece of music, nice pressing and everything. So that was good to get. Okay, so this next one is the latest album by Big Big Train. It may be the last album by Big Big Train, I don't know. So I've said before, I've shown quite a few things by Big Big Train, British prog artist. This came out in January, although it says 2021. It was certainly issued in January. And yeah, sadly, this is the last album with David Longdon, the vocalist of Big Big Train, who's kind of been with them for 12, 13 years. He sadly killed in an accident last November, whilst this had been recorded by then. So they kind of ummed and ahed and decided to put it out, but as yet they haven't made an announcement about the future of the band. Yeah, so he's David Longdon, a fantastic voice, yeah, really, really sad. So, but obviously his music will live on. I've got all of the Big Big Train albums that feature him, so at least I have that. And then finally, another new album released a month or so ago. This is having, it's 2021, so it might be right at the end. I don't know, right at the end of, difficult to know with all the pressing plant issues. The artwork's done before the record appears. I feel it came out early this year. And the first album for 8 years by this band, a band I've talked about before, Sound Carriers from Nottingham area. So they're putting records out now on their own label. And they're allegedly going to reissue some of their albums, particularly the one that I only have on CD. So I bought this from them, was lucky enough to get the coloured version. They only did 100 of those, so I was kind of got in quick on that. Wilds is the name of the album, and the interesting story about this, well, it was interesting to me anyway. So I pre-ordered this, got in quick, and the album was due out on the Friday, due to be released on the Friday release schedule, and I got a dispatch notice on sort of Wednesday, Thursday, but they were going to appear on Tim Burgess's listening sessions on the Monday. So I was kind of touch and go. Was the album going to arrive in time for me to listen to it with the kind of listen along sessions that Tim Burgess has been doing for the last few years, because I really wanted to do that. I've never done one of those Twitter listening parties, aren't they? I think they're called, or whatever. So it's my first ever experience of that. So I'm not a Twitter person. I do have a Twitter account, but I very rarely use it. I mainly use Instagram. So so it was kind of a first for me. But I kind of, luckily that this came in the mail on the Monday. It was a Monday evening listening party. So I kind of listened to this for the first time, listening to it with the listening party, with the artists listening along and commenting on each track as I was hearing it for the first time, which was quite a nice experience. So really enjoyed that. So hearing what the artists said about the tracks, they type a few things in Twitter about where they did it, what they were doing at the time, what they thought about it, what was going on, what the weather was like, whatever, whilst you're listening to the music for the first time. So so that was great. So yeah, good album. I think not quite as strong, not quite the strongest album, but good album. So yeah, kind of what they're neo-psych band, Sound Carriers. I think they're going to bring out, and because the first pressing that they put out of the coloured and the black vinyl sold out quite quickly, but I think they're going to be repressed. Yeah, so that's it. That's a few scratch the surface of the inbox. I can't say the inbox that's there because it's not there anymore. Yeah, I will probably be back with another finds video fairly soon, or see what threads come up. But yeah, okay, cheers VC, bye.